couple of things here. We're going to talk about apiary hygiene and about hive tools. So these are nitrile gloves, and these are what we would recommend that you use. They have a longer cuff. These are polyco, available in various sizes. You want a size which is reasonably snug. So you can see quite a nice long cuff. Okay, so those are reasonably snug on me, and now I can start talking about apiary hygiene, because we keep our tools in a strong mixture of sodium carbonate washing soda, and I've kept them in here. Now these two hive tools I've used this morning, you can see, are now have propolis over them, and something like a scrubbing pad is quite good for removing that when the liquid is washing soda. So I can get that off quite easily. I'll say that. It is important that we have clean tools. Honeybees are social insects, and their sense of smell is particularly tuned to the smell of their nest mates, so that they can admit them, or to the hive next door who are possibly wanting to rob them, and they don't want them in. So they are very sensitive to the smells of other hives, and so if you go in to a hive after you've been working another hive and you don't clean down properly, you can expect trouble. So now that's clean, that's stainless steel, and that's a hook type or a scraper type. So there's a blade on one end which we can use for separating boxes and scraping things. On the other end there's another scraper which we can use like that, or can also use that to separate frames like that, or lift them like that. So there's a lot of ways that a hive tool like that can be used. The other sort of hive tool is what's called the J type. Where's my J one? It's also being used this morning. Let's clean that off. So you can see again it has that flat blade. Kitchen towel is handy for this job, to clean them off. Incidentally, that cleaning goes for your gloves as well. You need to clean your gloves between going from hive 1 to hive 2. So there again we have a nice stainless steel hive tool. This one has again the blade for separating boxes, and you can use this part here to separate frames. The other end has this J on it, and the idea of that is that you can put it under a frame and then lift it. Personally, I don't use it because it tends to break the lugs on the ends of frames, but that's the idea, that you can be right back. Where you have two frames like this in a box, you can put that hive tool down there and lift that one up. But as I say, it tends to put a lot of force on there and break. So that's the two sorts of hive tool. They live in this liquid, and it's just been used one day. So and a couple of hives, and that's already starting to get a bit brown. You might want to replace it. But in there I also have a Varroa fork, other hive tools, and a brush. So there's various bits and pieces. I keep them all in there all the time. As to whether or not one is better than the other, it's a matter of personal choice. and I tend to use them alternately. There we go. So I tend to use them alternately. So I'll use that one, and when I finish putting it in here, then I'll use that one. And by the time I come to use that one again, it cleans up quite quickly.